Copywriting is not dead and it never will die. They are now in the conversion stage of engagement because you've hit all the touch points of the buyer's journey. You are the expert. If you are not confident in what you are saying and how you're delivering your pitch, then how can you expect them to pay you for your services when you're not even confident your services work? I have to make sure this works, not just for you, but for me. And so you better believe I will work harder than any marketing agency. By far, the most frequently asked question that I get is, Cav, how do I sign clients? Or Cav, where do I find copywriting clients? Or Cav, how do I outreach to prospects? Or Cav, how do I make loads of money with copywriting? I've learned how to do it, but I don't know how to get clients. I have done you all the honor of putting together a full 1.5 hour masterclass teaching you everything you need to know to get copywriting clients within the next few weeks, or even any client. This is just a general outreach masterclass which teaches you how to close clients. It's going to teach you cold outreach, the best outreach method in the world. And this isn't one of those outreach methods that it's just going to go out of date after a while. It's going to get saturated. This is just basic outreaching psychology. It's something that's going to last forever. It's something that's never changed. Basic selling psychology. It's going to teach you the best outreach method. It's going to teach you how to find prospects, how to reach out to them, follow-up messages. It's going to teach you how to create an amazing loom script that you can use to actually pitch your service even further, on video and demonstrating your service to prospects. And it's going to teach you a sales call script that I have personally used to close more than 40 deals as my time as a copywriter. So yeah, enjoy the video. This video is more than just an outreach method. It is a lesson on the buying psychology of potential clients and how to leverage that psychology in order to convince them to pay you. Now let me ask you this. What does a copywriter do? I'll give you 3 seconds. That's right. A copywriter convinces people to buy things. That is what a copywriter does. Now, with that being said, if a copywriter's job is to convince someone to spend money, then why are you struggling so much to convince someone to spend money on you? Wouldn't that mean that your copywriting skills are inadequate? Yes, that's exactly what it means. So what do? Normally, I tell you to watch my full copywriting masterclass on YouTube so that you can actually learn how to write copy. But in this video, because I'm so nice, I'm going to give you an extra helping hand by walking you through the entire step-by-step specific copywriting methods that you should use in order to convince clients to pay you, rather than general copywriting techniques that just work all around. This video is all about convincing clients to pay you, convincing them that you are the man for the job, convincing them that they need a copywriter and you will make them more money and you are the best person for the job. That is what this video does. So I'm going to give you some examples now of outreach that doesn't work. Now first I just want to highlight this little template here, and then this one is kind of, if you just want to have a read of this one on the left, it's basically just this template put into practice. Now, one of my lads who's in my Discord community who I've been teaching up, he kind of posted this suggestion in the community, and he said, you know what I was thinking for cold email outreach, what if it read like this? Subject line, how to maximize your email marketing revenue in less than 2 weeks. And then the body is just describing the value of a freelance copywriter and basically pitching how you could grow their business through email marketing. Also including a loom video that would just be introducing yourself and explaining how you can help and directing them to places in the email to show examples. Links could be to schedule a call. What are your thoughts? It's just an idea, but I thought it was clever. I know business owners like their stuff up front, so it's probably best to stick with that. Seems pretty clever, but let me know if I'm wrong. Sorry, Buster, wrong. I'm going to break that template down and explain to you why that is the worst method of outreach in the world. If you send someone an email, right, with a subject line that says how to maximize your email marketing revenue, and then it's just a massive sales pitch,
in that email, oh, I'm a freelance copywriter and I can make you all this money and I can do your email marketing revenue and I can do this and I can do that. And then there's a Loom video and then it's just you going, I can do this and I can do that. On the very first email that you send to a business who has no idea who you are, get fucked, Buster. You're going straight into the spam folder. That does not work. So I'm going to break it all down for you here. So, template breakdown, subject line, how to maximize your email marketing revenue. Why doesn't it work? Business owners receive dozens of spam emails just like this one every single day. Maximize this, revenue that. These emails get lost in a sea of desperate junk. You will be ignored if you reach out like this. Trust me when I say business owners receive dozens and dozens and dozens of spam emails off of idiots saying that they can increase revenue this and maximize that and SEO this and fucking revenue that. If you put that in your subject line as just fucking increase your email marketing revenue, they're going to ignore it immediately because it's just another spam email. So how do you get around it? What do you do in your first message, in your first email outreach? The subject line would be their name, your name, as demonstrated. John Doe, Cav Legacy. Why does it work? Because you might be thinking, what the fuck? Why does that work? This subject line is intriguing, okay? It's intriguing because business owners receive important emails every single day and they must check through them thoroughly. If your subject line is, I'm a copywriter and I can make you loads of money and increase your email marketing revenue in as little as 2 weeks, then they know exactly what's going to be inside the email. It's going to be a shitty sales pitch from some fucking loser who's desperate as fuck and trying to get fucking people to pay him and he's just another scam artist. You stick that in your fucking subject line, that's it, you're just another scam artist. See you later. Get fucked. They'll see the subject line, they know what's in the email, fuck you, see you later, not speaking to you. But if your subject line is the same as the above, their name, your name, then they have to open it because it could be something very important. They don't know that. They're a business owner, they receive emails every single day. So if they don't open that email, they could be missing something very important. So trust me when I say, they will open it. 100%. And then once they've opened it, it's all about the contents of the email, the copy that's in the email, whether or not you actually get them to read and then take action. I'm going to show you how to do it now. So, bad copy. So in his template, he basically said, describe the value of copywriting and pitch how you can grow their business, plus add a Loom video to explain yourself, plus use examples, all in one email. Absolutely not. Why it doesn't work? If you've watched my advanced copywriting masterclass, then you might recognize the phrase stages of awareness. If you haven't seen it, I would highly suggest going and watching it because it explains a lot of the advanced copywriting principles that you need to know, because if you're new to this channel, copywriting is not just direct response to a fitness niche, right? You are all being fucking lied to make copywriting seem like it's easier than it actually is. Trust me when I say there is more to it than just writing fucking direct response and calling someone fat on a Google Doc. There's a lot more to it. So go and watch my advanced copywriting masterclass if you haven't seen it. But now, I'll give you a brief breakdown of what stages of awareness are. So when sending cold outreach, you are targeting prospects that are unaware. It's in the name. Cold outreach. Outreaching to someone who is cold. They don't know who you are, they don't know what you do. It's cold outreach, they don't know who you are. So they don't know they have a problem, they don't know that a solution exists, and they don't know you. This attempt at cold outreach aims to dump all of this knowledge on the prospect in one email, which is a fatal mistake. If you'd seen my advanced copywriting masterclass, you'd know why it's a fatal mistake. These guys don't know you, and they don't care about you at all. So as soon as you start pitching services, your email will just be deleted and ignored straight away, because they don't know who you are, they don't give a shit who you are, they get hundreds of emails like this every single day, so why the fuck should they care about you? So as soon as you start pitching them in the first outreach that you've sent, that's it, Buster, you've lost it. Well done, good job. They're just going to ignore you. That's why no one's replying to you, because you're doing shit like that in your outreach. You need to make them care about you before you start pitching them your services. How do you make them care about you? It's complicated, we're gonna cover it all in this video, but that is the essence of it. You have to make them care about you before you start pitching your services. You need to make them aware, then you need to make them interested, and then you need to make them consider their options, and then you need to close them. You don't try and do it all in fucking one email because it doesn't work. So here's an example. So these are more like best practices rather than examples. So avoid industry jargon in the first email. This is the first outreach that you send. Before you've got a response, this is the first outreach that you sent. You need to avoid industry jargon, saying things like revenue, conversions, email sequences, copywriting. It immediately sounds off alarm bells that this is a sales pitch. They don't care about you, they don't care about your services, you are just a bad taste in their mouth, another flea that is biting their skin. You start using industry jargon like revenue this, upscale that, and fucking this, and fucking copywriting that, and marketing this. You start saying that in the first email that you send out to them, you're gonna scare them away. You are literally just a flea that's biting them, along with the hundreds of other fleas in their inbox. So they're not gonna listen to you. Don't do it. And another best practice as well to be aware of is if they are unaware, then you need to make them aware. You need to identify a problem that they have, then ask them a question hinting at this problem. And this could be anything from a missing welcome sequence to poor website copy, missed opportunities for data capture, etc., etc. And you just ask them a question. And I've got some examples there, but I'm briefly going to explain what I'm talking about. So your first outreach cannot be a sales pitch. Your first outreach has to identify a problem, but you can't make it sound like you're pitching them. So how do you identify a problem that a business has without pitching them? You ask a question that makes a reference to a problem that they have. And again, that problem could be a missing welcome sequence, it could be poor website copy, or it could be missed opportunities for data capture, it could literally be anything. But you have to ask a question that doesn't make it seem like you're trying to pitch them. You're just genuinely interested in asking this question. So let me explain it better. So this is bad outreach. This is doing everything that I've just told you not to do. Hi there, I subscribed to your newsletter and noticed you don't have a welcome sequence set up. Is this something you intend to look into? You're missing some serious potential in revenue by not utilizing email automation. That is absolute dog shit for an outreach because it's full of jargon. Now, yes, you've tried identifying a problem. You've identified the problem, which is they don't have a welcome sequence set up. But you've slapped a load of jargon in the very first message that you've sent them, and so they know it's a sales pitch, and they're just gonna think, fuck you. I get enough sales pitches, I don't need you. So how would you identify the problem of a missing welcome sequence without making it sound like you're pitching them? Like this. Hi there, I subscribed to your newsletter a few days ago, but I haven't received anything in my emails. Is this normal, or will I be receiving an email from you soon? Why does that one work? You've subtly highlighted a problem by asking a question. And you've asked that question without using industry jargon. So you haven't said, I subscribed to your newsletter and noticed you don't have a welcome sequence. You've said, I subscribed to your newsletter and I still haven't received anything. So now instantly the prospect is now aware of a problem. And the reason why they're aware of a problem is because you've just made them aware of that problem. You've asked them a question. I've signed up to your newsletter and I haven't received anything yet. So straight away, and you've got to remember these guys are business owners. Some of them are multi-millionaire business owners. They're not stupid. You say to them, I've just subscribed to your newsletter and haven't received anything. Why not? Instantly they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's a problem. They've subscribed to my newsletter and they haven't received an email yet. That is a genuine problem. These guys are not stupid, right? They will figure that out themselves subconsciously. You're just planting the seed that a problem exists. You jump into their DMs and you're saying, oh, you are missing a welcome sequence. You are missing a welcome sequence and therefore you are missing out on potential revenue and you are this and you are that. It's a pitch, fuck off, get out of my life. You message them and just say, I've subscribed to your newsletter and I haven't received anything yet. Why not? Then one, they're going to respond because you're asking why not. Is this normal or will I be receiving an email from you soon? They're going to respond. If they don't, they don't. They're never going to respond. But What this does is it breaks down their walls to respond. And more often than not, when they open this email, they're going to respond to you. And the reason they're going to respond to you is because they want satisfied customers. It's a business. You want to make people happy. You want your customers to be happy with what you're offering them. So if a customer reaches out to them and says, oh, I've got this problem, why is it occurring? They're going to try and reassure whoever's reached out to them. Now, this is also very important as well. This is also very important. When you're reaching out, your intention is to make the prospect assume that you are an interested customer. And it's very important this, right? You need to listen to me now. You are making them assume that you are an interested customer. If you purposefully lead them on to believe that you are an interested customer by, giving them like the compliment tactic. I'm really sorry, everyone that does the compliment tactic, fuck you, you're all shit. It is the worst tactic in the world. Imagine you've got a business, right? You're getting 10 messages a day from fans. And all these messages like, oh, absolutely love your latest video, bro. I've been implementing it into my life and it's helped me out so much. And then you're like, oh, brilliant, I'm glad I could help you. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can do your emails for you if you want. Can you imagine how sick of it you get? You get absolutely fucking sick to death of it. Don't do it. Ask them a question, okay? You ask them a question because again, it plants that seed. And when they follow up and you get around to actually following up on the conversation, you haven't explicitly said, oh, I love your brand and I'm, doing everything that your brand is teaching me and this and that and then gone on to flip the narrative and then start pitching them. You haven't done any of that. What you've done is you've reached out to them with a question. They've just made the assumption that you're an interested customer. They've made that assumption themselves. You haven't led them on to believe that, but you have at the same time, but subtly. That's what copywriting is. And that's why this one works, because the follow-ups that you can send after this, it's not like the dip and flip method where you send them a compliment, pretend to be interested in who they are, and then pitch them, because it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. This guy was pretending to be interested in my shit, and now he's trying to pitch me and take money off me. Fuck you, you fucking scumbag. Go fuck yourself. Whereas you ask them a genuine question, I subscribed to your newsletter the other day and I haven't received anything yet. Why not? That could be anyone. That could be a pitch, or it could be a customer. Leaves it up to interpretation, and more often than not, if you write it like this, you're going to seem like a customer, but you haven't explicitly said that you're a customer, and therefore, you're not being disingenuous. And therefore, they have no reason to fucking put their wall up as soon as you start pitching them. Did that make any sort of sense? I hope it did. So for follow-ups, this is the important shit. A potential response, when you do get a response, will be something like this. It'll be, hi there, we release a monthly newsletter to all our subscribers and the next one is scheduled to release in X weeks. Thank you for signing up. They're going to answer the question. So you've identified the problem, I've subscribed to your newsletter but I haven't received anything yet. And then you've asked a question. Is this normal or will I be receiving an email from you soon? Whatever you ask, they are going to answer, because they have addressed your concerns, and at the same time, you've planted that seed that a problem exists. And they've had to manually address that problem by sending you an update and a reason why that problem is occurring and how they intend to solve it. So it'd be like, yeah, you'll receive a monthly newsletter and the one's scheduled for the next 2 weeks. Thanks for subscribing. That would be the response that you would get. So a bad follow-up would be, thanks for clarifying. Did you know that you can set up a welcome sequence that could potentially bring in more sales to the business? Neglecting email automation is the same as leaving money on the table. I can help you if you want. Fucking shit. Go fuck yourself, that is fucking shit. This prospect is now problem aware. If you see my advanced copywriting masterclass, what stage of awareness comes after problem aware? Solution aware. So now that you've identified a problem, you need to make them aware that a solution exists. But at the same time, you still need to avoid using jargon because their walls are still going to be up. You start pitching them at this stage, it's not going to work. They need to be solution aware first before you can start pitching services. So at this stage, you need to make them solution aware while still being subtle. And this is how you do it. Thanks for clarifying. I was hoping to receive an email as soon as I signed up to your newsletter. Potential solution. You have just addressed a solution. I was hoping that I would have gotten an email as soon as I signed up. That's the solution. Without jargon, welcome sequence, automations. I was hoping to receive an email as soon as I signed up. Your client's not going to be fucking stupid. They're going to think that is a good idea. I will make sure that I set something up so that prospects get emails as soon as they sign up. You planted that seed in the back of their head. But I'm definitely excited for the next one, however long it takes. You're highlighting another problem. You're not sending enough emails, bro. I'm waiting. I'm interested now. I might not be interested in 2 weeks. I'm interested now. You get me? And the most important thing of all, end it on a question again. You need to end it on a question because you need to get another response. Okay? If you don't end it on a question, they just might not respond. They probably won't respond. So you need to ask them another question. Something that is going to prompt them to respond. What type of news do you usually release? And what you've also done for all of you copywriters who are a little bit more intermediate than the beginners, what type of newsletters do you usually release? You've highlighted another problem and presented another solution in one question. And that's because welcome sequences, when you set up a welcome sequence, the welcome email should tell you what to expect from the newsletter in the welcome email. What type of news do you usually release? So I've signed up to your newsletter, I haven't received an email, I don't know when I'm going to receive the next email, I don't know what's going to be in that email. You get me? There's just all these problems. You've only sent 2 really quick messages. And I'm telling you now, just because I'm explaining it like this, makes it sound more complicated. I am telling you now, the prospect is going to have all this in the back of his head. These are just seeds that you planted in the back of his head, and he will want to address these problems because these are big problems, right? So again, why does it work? Now you've made him aware of a potential solution, but you haven't made it clear what that solution is. That is also very important. The solution is that they need to get an email when they sign up to the newsletter. They need to have something in place which will automatically send an email, but they don't know what that is. So they're aware that a solution exists, but they don't know what that solution is, okay? And you've also ended with a question to entice a response and continue the conversation. So the second follow-up, what would happen after this? This is the third message in the sequence. So their response will look something like this. I'm sorry you didn't receive an email immediately. This is definitely something we could potentially look into. Our newsletter is to update subscribers on the latest products and discounts, as well as news about the brand. They've apologised again, they've addressed the problem once again. I'm sorry you didn't receive an email. It's definitely something we can look into. Again, I've just fucking made this up, so they might not say that, but they will say something along those lines. And they will definitely answer the question that you asked. Our newsletter is to update subscribers on the latest products and discounts, as well as news about the brand. Because you asked that question, what should I expect to receive? So now that they've responded, you've also got more information about what they're sending in their email campaigns. So you've got more shit that you can use to pitch them later. Because if they're just sending fucking discounts and special offers, then their copywriting is shit. Because you don't just send discounts and special offers all the time. You have to warm up leads. You have to push them along the different stages of engagement, like you're doing with this prospect. So you've got more fuel that you can use, okay? So can you see how it's all starting to come together? How the outreach method works its magic. It's absolutely brilliant, it's fantastic. This is true copywriting psychology. And if you're not taking notes, you're doing something wrong. And if you're not following this method when you're sending your outreach, you're the only person you've got to blame, because nobody else is showing you how to do this. I'm the only one that's actually showing you how to do outreach properly. If you're not listening to me, that's your fucking problem. Just because I've got 600 subscribers does not mean I'm shit. I've got something to prove. My shit needs to be better than everybody else. I started in 2024, couldn't get any fucking clients until I started figuring all this shit out on my own, because the free information on the internet is shit. And now I'm sharing it with you and teaching you how to do it properly. Use it, prove it, fucking works, I'm proof. I started in 2024 when everyone said that it were already saturated. People have been saying it's saturated for fucking 2 years now. 3 years, people have been saying it's saturated. No, it's not. I've only just started. I started about 10, 11 months ago. I got into it in March. I got my first client in May. And a bunch of lads that are working with me now in my community that are taking the coaching off me. I've got 3 lads who have already made who are already making $4,000 a month. I've got 1 lad who's making $1,000 a week and he doesn't even have any clients because I've taught him my method. Copywriting is not dead and it never will die. And it's absolutely ridiculous that people are fucking thinking it's gonna die. It's crazy. You're all just really fucking shit at writing copy, and I'm sorry. You're all just really shit at writing copy and you're really shit at getting clients. That's the only reason people think it's saturated and people think you can't do it, because you're all fucking shit. So listen to what I'm saying, because I'm teaching you how to do it properly. If you don't want to listen, that's your problem. I don't give a shit. Let's continue. Bad follow-up. So a bad response would be, that's all right, don't worry, I'm actually an email marketer and I can help you improve your newsletter and welcome automations and brand emails. Here's how I can help. I can set up an automation. Fucking chill out, okay? Now, yes, you need to make them product aware at this stage. You've identified a problem. You've identified the solution. So now the prospect is solution aware. So now you need to make them product aware. But that is absolutely not how you do it. You need to do it like this. You need to ease your way in subtly. You need to be subtle, okay? You need to be very, very subtle. This is how you do it. That's all right. It would definitely be a good idea to set up some sort of automation for new subscribers. This is the first instance of jargon that you will be using, right? And it just eases them in, It would definitely be a good idea to set up some sort of automation. You're not saying, I can help you set up a welcome sequence and automate your email campaigns, and I can do this and I can do that, and I am the boss, and you're not doing that. You're just saying it would definitely be a good idea to set up some sort of automation. It might be a good idea to set up some sort of automation. You might be able to offer them discounts or special offers after they sign up to try and close the deal while the interest is still high. I happen to know a thing or two about email automations, and because I love your brand, I've made a quick video for you to help demonstrate how it works and how it could potentially help you and your brand. I hope it helps. You've been subtle, you've been friendly, you've been subtle, you've been humble, which is very important. You're not just saying, I am an email marketing expert and I can increase your revenue shares by £10 million and you can do this, and you can do that, and I can do this, and I can do that, and you can make loads of money. You're not saying it like that. You need to be humble, okay? I happen to know a thing or two about emails. And because I really like your brand, I've made a video for you. You can check it out if you want to, you don't have to, but it's there if you want to have a look at it. Hope it helps. And that is it. That is all you need to do. Subtle, completely nonchalant, just introduce them, make them product aware. You've made them product aware because you've said, I happen to know a thing or two. You are the service, you are the product. So you've made them product aware. I happen to know a thing or two. And I've made a video which will help explain it better if you would like to watch it. Yeah? Why does it work? Second follow-up is much more genuine and offers visual representation of what the brand is missing, how that gap can be filled, and how it will benefit them in the long run. Now, I got a question, right, because I was delivering this presentation to all my lads in the Discord before I made this video, and I got a question from them. And they said to me something along the lines of, well, what are you supposed to do in the loom video? If you're saying that you still need to be subtle at this stage, and you still need, then that's contradicting everything about loom videos that I've seen on the internet. So what am I supposed to do in the loom video? You are supposed to be hardcore in the loom video. Do you know why? Because you've identified a problem, okay? And then identified a solution, so now they're interested. And then you've made them product aware by saying, I happen to know a thing or two. So now they might be considering it. If they've taken that action to watch that video, guess what? They're considering. They're in the consideration stage. So as soon as that video begins playing, they're now in the conversion stage. Okay? They are now in the conversion stage of engagement because you've hit all the touch points of the buyer's journey. You've identified a problem, you've identified the solution, you've identified the product. They are now product aware. They've taken the call to action to watch the video because they are interested and they are actively considering whether or not you can help them. And so once they land on that video, now is the time for the direct response. And in the Loom video, that is when you're going to be like, right, this is how much money I can make you. This is what I can do for you. If you do this, then you will make X. If you do this, then this will improve that. And that is when, in the Loom video, you give them a hard pitch, because by that point, they're ready for it. They are ready to hear it because they have gone out of their way to click that video after you've warmed them up. You've warmed them up through the emails and they have taken their time to click on that video to watch it. So now is the time to give them the hard pitch because they're ready to hear it. They are warmed up and ready to go. Pitch them hard as fuck. In the next video, I'll teach you how to do the Loom videos and I'll teach you the fucking perfect template of how to record a successful Loom video to get clients every single time without fail. Show you how to do it in the next video. For now, let's continue this one. So, usually, after you send them the Loom video, the follow-up is going to be, holy shit, let's book a call. While that video was really helpful, some prospects may even ask you to book a call there and then. More often than not, if you do a good job in the Loom video, then they'll just say, holy shit, that sounds really helpful, can we talk? And then you're gonna be like, yep, there you go, sales call. But if they don't say that, and they literally just say, oh wow, thank you, that was really helpful, this is what you follow up with. Happy to help. There's only so much that I can pack into a 5-minute video, so the process is a little bit more complicated than that. If it sounds good to you, we can jump on a quick call so I can explain things a little better for you. Here's a link if you'd like to chat. All the best. Why does that work? Your prospect is now aware of a problem, aware that a solution exists, and aware that you, the product, are the solution. And they know by this point that they can't solve the problem themselves, and they know that they need your help. Reason being is there's only so much that I can pack into a 5-minute video, so it's more complicated than that. So don't get your hopes up, Buster. I might have done a really good job explaining it on the Loom video, but you can't fucking do it because it's a lot more complicated than what I just explained to you there. So we need to talk about it more. You can't just use that video to go and do it yourself because it's more complicated than that. So you have to talk to me. You have to. You ain't got a choice. And that is where the sales call comes from. Now, like I said, 50-50, they'll ask for a sales call straight away. If they don't, that's what you do. I'm glad you liked the video, but you still don't know how to do it because I couldn't tell you anything in that video, so you literally need to speak to me if you want to solve these problems. And they do, because they're still talking to you. They watched the video, so yes, they still need your help. Cracked. So, key takeaways before the video ends. Outreach is copywriting. You are using persuasive language to convince someone to buy something. If you are not confident in your ability to convince someone to buy something, that means you are not a good enough copywriter to be doing outreach yet. If you are not a good enough copywriter to be doing outreach yet, go back to my channel, watch the rest of my videos because I teach the shit that nobody else teaches you. My free course on YouTube is better than any paid course on the internet because I teach you the shit that you actually need to know. Go back, watch it. If you don't think it is, fuck off, go watch Tyson 4D. Don't give a shit. He's been pulling your leg for fucking years. Don't care, do what you want. If you do want to learn how to write real copy though, go back, watch the rest of my videos if you haven't already. If you want to learn even more, if you watched all my videos, sign up to my newsletter because 1, I write copy every single week and my copy is fucking immaculate. 2, you'll get access to my Discord so you can meet everyone that I've been training and find out how much money they've made, the skills that I've taught them, etc, etc, etc. And 3, do it because you like me, because I don't have any subscribers and I need clout. Next key takeaway is trying to push the prospect through the 5 stages of engagement in the very first email is impossible. Don't believe me? Crack on. Whatever, don't care. It's not my time that's being wasted. You crack on and do what you think's best, Buster. Next key takeaway is avoid jargon in early emails to stay under the radar. Slowly introduce the problems they have and the solutions to those problems before you highlight yourself and your service as the solution that they need. Very important. Demonstrate how you can help with a Loom video to build trust and authority. Tutorial coming in the next video next week. And entice an urgent call to action by hinting that they are unable to solve this problem alone and you are the be-all and end-all to all of their problems. That is how you get a sales call booked. Okay? There's still one more piece of the puzzle though. You still need to find out how to make a really good Loom video. So you can try this week while you're waiting for the next video. You can try it, and then when the next video comes out, then you can start using the Loom video practice. For now, that is how you get a sales call booked without the Loom video tutorial. Loom video is coming out next week, so that's it. I'm not going to waffle on anymore. I will just see you all in the next video for a Loom video tutorial. So, first things first, I'm going to teach you how the Loom script actually works, how to speak with confidence, what to say, and I'm going to show you a case study that you can actually use to visualize what it is that you're offering this prospect. And then once I've delivered the lesson and shown you how it works and blah, 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 I'll show you the conversation that I've had with a prospect after sending loads of outreach over the last 2 weeks to prove to you that this shit works. And then I will show you the Loom video that I actually sent to the guy, which has actually converted into a sales call. So let's get straight into it, no messing about. So lesson objectives. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to film a quality Loom pitch to convince your prospects to book a call with you. Because let's be real, business owners don't trust a random freelancer in their inbox, but show them proof that you know what you're talking about, and suddenly you go from another email marketer to, this is exactly what I need. So by the end of this lesson, you will understand how to structure a Loom script to assert your authority. You will use a case study template to present your services and how they can help. You will learn how to speak clearly and command respect and radiate confidence. And you will seamlessly transition your Loom video pitch into a call to action. So the script, what is it? You've done all the hard work. If you watched the previous video and you've done everything that I told you, then by this point, you have done the hard part. Now it's time for the Loom video. You've sent the perfect cold email. You've got the prospect to engage in conversation. You've made them problem aware without sounding salesy, and you've teased a solution without scaring them off. The next step is a killer Loom video to help you seal the deal. But what's the script? Well, the script lies in the case study that you will demonstrate in your video. This is how you film a successful Loom video with a good case study. So let's have a look at it. So this is what your case study is going to look like, and I will leave a link in the description for you to sign up to my newsletter, and in the welcome email that you receive after signing up to my newsletter, you will get this template so that you can use it and edit it and use it for your own outreach, your own Loom video scripts. But for now, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what it is. So basically, what you're going to be doing in this Loom video is describing how you can help, and this case study helps to visualize what it is that you're offering this business. So in this case, it's a welcome sequence. You start off, you say, welcome sequence can do this, this, and this. This is why it's amazing. And then you branch off into the different things that the welcome sequence does and how it helps. So first of all, free value. Free value is good because X, Y, and Z. You can read it, obviously, if you sign up to my newsletter, or you can pause the video and read it. Get this template for yourself. You can read what I've written. And also, I read it all out in the Loom video that I'm going to show you at the end of this video anyway. So basically, what you're doing with this script is you are branching it off and explaining how everything works and how it can inevitably lead to more sales. So, welcome sequence. Set up a welcome sequence. What happens after you set up a welcome sequence? You give them free value, you give them a warm welcome. What does the free value do? Free consultation call. This builds trust, it builds authority, blah, blah, blah. And you can also redirect them to useful articles, which isn't only valuable to the reader who's looking for information, but it also improves domain authority by redirecting people to your website. And the warm welcome lets people know what to expect, more free value. Follow-ups after a warm welcome comes your follow-up emails, and these emails are designed to increase awareness, etc., etc. And the buyer's journey welcome sequence is all about increasing the different stages of engagement from awareness to interest and interest to action. And you basically use this template to visualize and demonstrate how your service can actually help. the brand. Now this can work for anything. It doesn't have to be a welcome sequence. It could literally be anything. If they've just got shit articles, then you could stick on here, weekly articles to your website. Right, what do weekly articles do? They improve domain authority, they increase search engine rankings, you've got more chance of ranking because there's more search queries, blah, 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 blah. What does that do? Well, traffic can be redirected with more internal links, which further improves SEO and domain authority and blah, blah, blah. And what does that do? Well, more users are getting redirected through your website, more call to actions, more sales, more traffic, bish, bash, bish, bash, bish, 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 bish. It's exactly the same thing. So you basically just use this to pitch whatever problem it is that you've found in your attempts to close a client via outreach. And then there's another little section here, and this is important, where you don't actually explain what this does. This is to try and get the call to action. So basically you sit here and you explain all of this in relative detail, and then at the end of the call you say, now if you're wondering how to actually get people to subscribe to your newsletter and enroll them on the welcome sequence, then we've got all this. Different lead generation, but it's too much to explain in this video. So if you want to book a call and discuss it further with me, then we can do. And that's how you get the call booked, basically. And you'll see it by the end of the video. So again, this is the case study template that you're going to use. If you check the link in the description, you can sign up to my newsletter. And in the welcome email, you will get a link to this case study so that you can copy it into your own design, edit it however you like, and use it in your own Loom scripts. For now, let's return back to the lesson, because you actually need to know how to present this properly without me just waffling. So I have had to write notes because I tend to waffle a little bit too much when I'm talking off the top of my head. So the first 30 seconds is the confident introduction. Who are you and why are you making this video? This is not the time to be timid or apologetic. You are here as an expert, so introduce yourself with confidence, okay? An example would be, hi Simon, who is the guy who I reached out to. Hi Simon, as I mentioned in our chat, I noticed a gap in your marketing and I wanted to make this quick video to walk you through a small tweak that can make a big difference in your email marketing. Now, why does the confident introduction work? It works because it's direct. There's no unnecessary fluff. It feels personal, so it's not just a mass email. You're actually giving them an introduction to who you are via a video, so they can see your face, they can hear your voice, and it hints at immediate value. It's something that they can change right now, and you are about to reveal what that change is. Now remember, it is very important, I don't think I've made any notes on this, but it is very important to come across as confident in your videos. Even if you're not actually confident in what you're talking about, fucking pretend to be. Just pretend to be, okay? You need to speak loud. You need to have a good, strong voice. Don't speak too fast. If you start speaking too fast and saying that you can do this and you can do that, and if we include a welcome sequence and makes it sound like you've got anxiety. You sound ridiculous. Speak normally, but make sure you speak with authority. You want to make eye contact with the camera like you are talking directly to the watcher. You need to have a loud, confident voice. Sit with your posture up. You know what you're talking about. Either sit with your posture up, like you know what you're talking about, or relax. Either one is fine. But if you're sat like this, and you're talking too quietly and it doesn't work. Right? You need to speak with confidence. And at the same time, when I say speak with confidence, don't make it too rehearsed. Just talk. You are the expert. If you are not confident in what you are saying and how you're delivering your pitch, then how can you expect them to pay you for your services when you're not even confident your services work? You need to get confident. You need to get good at copywriting. So if you're not good at copywriting, you can check all the other videos on my channel because that'll teach you how to get good at copywriting. Once you're good at copywriting, then you should be able to speak confidently and say, I can help you. How can I help you? Because I've been watching all of Cav Legacy's videos and he's taught me really, really well. Talk with confidence. So the next 60 seconds is the problem breakdown. You need to show them what's wrong in their current setup. You've already identified an issue, which is the missing welcome sequence or a weak email engagement or whatever. Now you need to show them the problem on their own website or email setup. You need to literally show them what the problem is so they can see it. For an example, so I signed up to your newsletter a few days ago and I noticed I didn't receive a welcome email. That's a missed opportunity because your subscribers are most engaged right after signing up. Without a welcome email, you're leaving them in the dark. So why does it work? It makes the issue feel real. They see it happening in their own business. When you go to their website or whatever it is that you're trying to target, when you actually show them on the screen that this is a real problem, it makes it much more real than just telling them that it's a problem in an email. They can actually see it. And it's logical. Once they see that that is a problem visually, they're automatically going to think, wow, we are actually missing this. He's just showed me. And you're not blaming them, you're just showing them an oversight that they haven't thought about. So it doesn't insult them. Now, I didn't actually realize I did it until I was going back and editing the Loom video, but I actually did insult this guy a few times in the Loom video that I recorded, but I must have just got lucky. I must just be a likable character because he didn't comment on it, but try not to insult them. I accidentally did in the Loom video and it's still converted, so, you know, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but just try and avoid it in future, okay? So, the next 3 minutes now, after you've introduced yourself and presented the solution or visualized the solution and actually shown them what it is on their website, you now need to explain how to fix it without overwhelming them too much with jargon. So this is where you introduce your service as the solution, but instead of pitching them, you're going to educate them. That's where the case study comes into play. So example, this is the easiest way to fix. So the easiest way to fix this is with an email automated welcome sequence. This would allow you to instantly engage new subscribers, introduce your brand, and direct them to your offers automatically. It's a game changer for increasing sales and keeping email subscribers engaged. So let me show you how it works, and then you go through the case study and just explain how it works, visualize it for them. Now, why does it work? You're not pushing them to hire you yet. You're just explaining how the problem can be solved, right? So it's not a sales pitch yet. They know it is deep down, but you're not scaring them away with making it too sales pitchy, okay? You're building curiosity as well. Now, they want to know how you set this up. You're showing them how to do it, but they want to know how to set it up. So you're building that curiosity and you're asserting your expertise. This is something that is proven to work. It's not just something that you think might work. It is literally proven to work. Every single successful business on the entire planet has email marketing and automated welcome sequences. If you're not doing it, that's why your business is shit. This is proven to work. It asserts your expertise, so it works. And then the final minute needs to be the soft call to action. So you need to give them a way to take the next step without pressuring them too much. So this is where you transition into a CTA, but gently. So an example would be, of course, there's only so much that I can cover in a 5-minute video, but if this sounds interesting, I'd love to walk you through the full process on a quick call. No pressure, just a chat to see if this would be a good fit for you and your brand. If that sounds good, let me know and I will send you a link to get booked in. Why does it work? You've built curiosity and subtle urgency because there's more to learn. As I just showed you on the case study, let's go back to it really quick. Fast. Oh my God, audience retention. Audience retention, don't click off the video. There we go. So if we go back to this here, this is how the soft call to action is going to work. So let's skip through this again. So you built curiosity. How have you built curiosity? You built curiosity because you've explained all this in detail and you've educated them, but then you've ended the call on this. Right, well, how do you actually get more people to sign up and enroll on this welcome sequence? There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, but I can't fit it all in this video. So if you want to find out more, book a call or let me know that you do want to find out more and I'll send you a call link. Make sense? You build that curiosity. And that's it. That is the script. Now, here are some key takeaways for a winning Loom script. You want to try and keep it under 6 minutes. Anything longer, it feels like homework. Once again, I am not leading by example because I think my Loom video was like 8 minutes long, so it did go over a little bit because I waffle too much. So, general practice, try and keep it under 6 minutes. Don't make it too long. I'm actually surprised that it's a really bad example, is this Loom video. I was cringing when I look back at it, but oh well, who cares? It worked. But try and keep it under 6 minutes. You need to use a confident and natural tone, nothing robotic and not overly rehearsed. So like I said before, you need to be confident, you need to speak loud, you need to assert yourself and not be reading off a script. Not robotic and not rehearsed. You can't just read from a script like this. You need to actually speak. You need to actually talk like a warm-blooded human, and then it'll just come across as better. Make sure your screen is clean. No messy tabs open. You need to keep it professional. Direct to the point. Don't have a scruffy screen when you're recording your loom. You need to make sure that they can see you clearly. People trust faces more than voices. The amount of times, and especially with some of the students that I work with, they're hiding under their cameras. They're like this. Yeah, so I can help you, bro. I can help you do this, and you know, this is how I do it. If you look here, bruh, who the fuck's gonna hire you when you're doing shit like that? No one's gonna hire you. You need to be clearly in view and have a static camera, and a half decent one. If your camera's shit, then you might struggle a little bit, but at the very least, invest in a decent camera for yourself. And make sure you pause between points. Let them actually process what you're saying. So like I said before, don't just talk really, really fast and tell them how to write a loom script, because when you tell them how to write a loom script and tell them how to do their welcome sequence, you're showing them all this different stuff, and they're not going to have time to process what you're talking about, and they might not have a fucking clue what you're talking about, and they might not actually care what you're talking about. But if you just keep going around it, slow the fuck down, bro. I say keep it under 6 minutes, but that doesn't mean you're on a timer. Just speak. Let it be natural. Talk normally. Give them time to process what you're saying. And most importantly, which you're going to see in my loom video because I do giggle a few times, have fun. Actually have fun. A loom video is not a formal presentation. It's a personal walkthrough. So you need to treat it like you're showing a friend how to fix something simple. So if you make a mistake, giggle about it. If you say something dumb, giggle about it. I think at one point in the loom video, I said something like, it just works, trust me, bro. And then I laughed and said, look at me, a stranger telling you to trust me. Just laugh it off, it's a joke, man. It's not a formal presentation. Have some personality. You show some personality and they're going to resonate with you more because you're human. You're not just a sleazy salesman, you're just a normal guy who happens to be an expert in something and wants to help. So make sure you're human. And yeah, that's literally it. It's not rocket science to film, excuse me, it's not rocket science to film a good loom video. So now I'm going to actually show you the loom video that has just closed me a sales call. If you're impatient, you want to get started right now, then check the link in the description, sign up to my newsletter, and as soon as you confirm your subscription, you need to opt in, so you will get an email asking you to opt into my newsletter. As soon as you've opted in, you'll receive the welcome email and you'll get everything that you need. You'll get the software that I use to scrape CEO emails, you'll get an invitation to my free community, and you'll get a link to the case study template that you can use for your loom videos. So I'm going to show you the loom video, like the literal loom video. I have edited it and blurred some shit out. You know, I need to blur out the name of the brand that I've reached out to because I haven't actually had the sales call yet. So I don't want any of you sneaky little fuckers trying to take my client away from me, because you know they are ready to buy. They're in that stage now, they're ready to buy. So I don't want any of you fucking losers trying to pinch my client from under my nose. So I have blurred them out. I apologize for my terrible editing, my clunky editing, but I'm still looking for an editor and I've not received a single good outreach from any video editors yet. I'm not going to tell you how to outreach. I want you to just be able to do it yourself. So if you're a video editor, reach out to me, because I need a full-time video editor to help me on my YouTube, because the reason I don't post as many videos as I should is because I haven't got time to edit them all, because I'm shit at it. So video editors, reach out to me, and if your outreach is any good, I might respond to you. For now, just before the loom video starts, I'm going to quickly show on the screen the conversation that I had with this client to build up to the loom video and the eventual sales call, using the outreach method that I taught you in the previous video, to show you that it works. All right, so if you haven't seen that video, go back, I'll teach you how to do it. For now, you can see it on the screen, the conversation that we had. Again, I've blurred out details for information governance purposes and to stop all you sneaky fuckers from stealing my client. But other than that, enjoy the loom video and just take some notes. And with that being said, that's the end of the video until you've finished the loom. So yeah, chilling, peace out. Make sure you leave a like on the video, please. For the love of God, like the video, leave a comment, share it. It really helps. I'm a small channel, and even the smallest amount of engagement really, really helps. So make sure you give it a like, make sure you give it a comment. It doesn't have to be anything mega, just quick like, comment. Thanks, mate. Anything you want, and I'll reply to every single comment. So yeah, chilling. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Morning Simon, my name's James, and like I mentioned in the email, I'm just making this quick video for you to show you how you can use automated email sequences to generate money in the background, because you are literally leaving money on the table by not utilising the emails. So the first thing that I just want to quickly address, and obviously I mentioned this in the emails, is there's nowhere to sign up to a newsletter. Now there's a contact form which collects data and I assume adds users to your list, but consumers might not be ready to actually contact you and your team. They might just be browsing. They might even look at your website and not like what's on it, and therefore they're not going to try and contact you and your team. And so you need an alternative method for collecting data. You need an alternative method of collecting that data so that you can send them marketing content which will get them ready to make that decision, because it's something called the buyer's journey. It's something called the different stages of engagement, and not everyone is going to be ready to take the call to action, which is filling out a contact form to speak to your team. They might not be ready. So you need to warm them up. You need to warm them up to get them to that stage of where they think, right, I am ready. I do want to make this decision. This is a good decision for me. And the best way that you do that is with an automated welcome sequence. Now, we'll get more into how you can actually capture data for the welcome sequence in a second, but quickly I just want to walk you through the welcome sequence because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So a welcome sequence is basically an automated email sequence that is triggered by a sign up to your newsletter, and it will be automatically, so any new subscribers will be automatically enrolled onto this sequence and will receive all of the emails within this sequence. So again, the first thing you need to do is you need to add a subscribe form to your website that offers value in exchange for data. Instead of just contact us, you need to use sign up now for your free consultation call. And then once users sign up, they're entered into the sales funnel. Now let me explain this a little bit better for you. So the free value. Users are offered value in the first welcome email. This value builds trust and authority within the brand because people buy from people they trust. So you need to give them something for free before you try and take their money. This is important. If you create a contact form, and that contact form is just, oh, contact us, and then you've just got all your sales team bombarding whoever's contacted you, it just comes off as desperate. You need to make them feel like they're getting something exclusive. As I mentioned here, the free consultation call. Now, we all know that it's not exclusive, it's just a sales pitch. It's just you and your team getting them on call and trying to sell to them. We know that. But you need to make them feel like it's something exclusive to them. It's something good. They're getting something for free from you. So instead of saying contact us, you need to make them feel like they're getting something exclusive, because people pay big money for consultations, yet you're doing them for free? How trustworthy. What that's going to do is it's going to build trust within your audience. And like I said before, people buy from people they trust. So you need to give them something for free before you try and take their money. And another good thing as well is when they are enrolled onto this welcome sequence in the first email, not only are you going to offer them a free consultation call, but you're going to redirect them to useful articles as well. What better way to drive traffic through your website than to redirect users to all your articles? Because more traffic equals better domain authority, and a better domain authority means more organic traffic. So people are looking for different services when they sign up to your newsletter. Some people might be looking for mortgage advice, some people might be looking for, let's have a look, what else do you offer? What we do? You offer a bunch of different things. People might be looking for employee benefits, private healthcare, mortgages, doesn't matter. They're all going to be looking for something different, okay? So you need to redirect them to more information about the specific things that you do, because one person who signs up to your newsletter looking for mortgage advice, you need to redirect them to more information about that mortgage advice. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase traffic to your website, increase traffic to your articles, and therefore is going to improve your organic SEO and make the reader feel like that you're providing them with all this value and all these benefits, and it's going to build trust in the reader. It just works, trust me. I'm sat here a stranger telling you to trust me, but just trust me. And the warm welcome, this is also important as well. So in the first email of the sequence, you need to give your subscribers a warm welcome. You're going to tell them exactly what to expect from your newsletter. Free value, discounts, special offers, and even more value. This introduction builds awareness for you, your brand, and what the consumer should expect. It is the first step in the buyer's journey and a very important one because, like I mentioned before, not everyone is going to be ready to take that call to action. Not everyone wants to speak to you and your sales team. They might just be browsing. So why not grab them while you've got that interest and then warm them up and keep hitting them with those marketing campaigns, but subtle marketing campaigns, and I know exactly how to do it. So for follow-up emails, so after the warm welcome, if they haven't taken the call to action by booking a free consultation call, or if they have, whatever, the follow-ups are always the same. After a warm welcome comes your follow-up emails. And these emails are designed to increase awareness and drive engagement. You need to make them aware of a problem. You need to present yourself as the solution, and you need to drive action by building emotion in the reader. It is a very, very complicated process, but like I said before, I know exactly how to do it. And the buyer's journey. On average, it takes 8 points of contact to convert a visitor into a customer. A carefully crafted welcome sequence will hit these 8 points of contact, allowing you to build trust over time and convert sales autonomously while you work on delivering your service. So it's not manual labor. It's not like you're going to be sending emails all the time, trying to, and tracking engagement and market research. It's just one email sequence, a welcome sequence. That's it. That's literally all you need. And it does all the work for you autonomously. So that has been, again, there's only so much I can say in 6 minutes. That has been a really, really, really brief explanation of how a welcome sequence works. But you're an intelligent guy. I'm sure you understand that it works because every business in the world is doing it, and the ones that aren't doing it are leaving money on the table like yourself. So it might be a good idea to put some thought into including a welcome sequence to your sales funnel. And again, if you're confused about where to actually capture the leads to get them to sign up, or methods that you can use to get people to want to sign up to your newsletter, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And if you want to find out more, then I'm happy to speak to you on a call, and I will leave a link in the next email. If you decide to respond, if you like this video, just let me know and I will send you a link to book a call with me, so then we can go over it further. It's a completely free call. Again, you're under no obligation to pay me any money. We can just talk. I can just walk you through this whole process because, like I said, there's only so much I can pack into an 8-minute video. So if you want a more in-depth explanation, let me know and I'll get a link sent over to you. So have a good day. Simon, thanks for taking the time to watch this video.
Preparations. A sales call is not a casual chat. You have to be prepared for it. Because the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to sound. So before the call, you need to make sure that you have researched the prospect. You need to know their business, their pain points, and what they actually care about. Because nothing is worse than hopping on a call and asking, so what does your company actually do then? Instant loss. It's an instant loss because it's unprofessional and it shows the prospect that you are not prepared for the call. You don't know how you can help them. So how are you going to convince them that you can help them if you don't even know anything about their business? So you have to actually do your due diligence before the call. Make sure you research the prospect, know their business, know their struggles, their pain points, and how you, as a copywriter, can solve those problems for the prospect. And you need to have clear objectives. What do you want to get out of the call? A sale, a commitment, or another meeting? If you don't know what you want, you're not going to get anything. Right? Now, the general consensus is when you get in a sales call, you want a sale there and then. But you have to be prepared to take other alternatives because not everyone's going to be willing to pay you on the spot. So go into the call thinking at the very least you want another meeting. The very least, and just make sure you have that clear objective. If you do a good job at convincing them and you follow this script, they should be happy to pay you by the end of the call. But if not, make sure you've got that clear objective of, right, you're not willing to pay, let's schedule another meeting. And once you've got that clear objective, it gives you some sort of direction on where you can steer the call. And it just allows you to be more prepared for those scenarios when they arise. Make sure you've got invoices ready to go. So if they say yes, you need to send an invoice immediately. If you start saying, oh, I'll sort it out later, then that gives them time to think about their decision to hire you. And guess what? In this sales call, you're going to be using copywriting techniques. You're just going to be verbally communicating those
copywriting techniques. You're going to be putting the prospect in a state of emotion in this sales call. And guess what? People buy with emotion and justify with logic. So if you don't send them an invoice immediately, that gives them time to think about their decision, and therefore they will start justifying their decision with logic rather than acting on emotion, which is what you're trying to do. That's one reason why the general consensus is get them to pay on the call, because as soon as that emotion runs flat and they start justifying their decisions with logic, there's a good chance that you're going to lose the client, okay? So make sure you've got multiple Stripe invoices ready and prepared to go. They might not accept your first offer. They might not want to pay you $2,000 for 3 emails. So instead, you will charge them $1,500 for 2 emails. You get me? That's how it works. So make sure you've got your invoices ready to go, and make sure you've got proposals as well. Because if they need to review the details, have pre-written proposals ready to send. This way, you don't waste time drafting something from scratch while they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs and eventually losing interest. Okay? Make sure you've got something written, and it also clarifies exactly what you are going to do for them, as well as what you are not going to do for them. Because I'm telling you now, clients will take advantage of you if they can. If you sign a deal, $2,000 a month for 3 emails a week, and then all of a sudden the client starts saying, oh, can you do a couple social media posts? Yeah, of course I can. And then you start doing social media posts for them. And then before you know it, oh, well, I don't have a very good landing page to collect data from my social media. So can you write me a landing page as well? Yeah, of course I can. Anything for you. Don't do it. It's a mug's game. Don't do it. Because eventually, before you know it, you're working a full-time job for a standard salary. The whole point of being a freelance copywriter is that you do as little work as possible for as much money as possible. So if they want you to do more work, it's very simple. They need to pay you more money. They want you to write a landing page, $1,000. Cool. Don't do it for free. So make sure you've got proposals so they know exactly what you are going to do and exactly what you're not going to do. Now, preparations are complete. You've got everything ready to go. Once the sales call starts, the very first thing you need to do is build rapport. Do not be a sales robot. It doesn't work. You're not calling them to immediately pitch. You need to loosen them up. Start the conversation like a normal human being. Ask them how they're doing. 1, because people love to talk about themselves, and 2, whilst your prospect is sat there talking about themselves, it gives you a chance to calm the fuck down. Because I guarantee, and it's the same with everyone, when you get on your first sales call, even now, right? Even now when I get on sales calls, and I'm an experienced copywriter at this point, even now when I get on sales calls, you are shitting yourself for the first 5 minutes. The adrenaline's running, you're stuttering over your words, you're fumbling over everything you're saying. The adrenaline, it catches you. So if you start the conversation like a normal human being and get the prospect to talk about themselves, it gives you time to relax, because you're going to be like, you're going to be on edge. Even thinking about it now, it's making my adrenaline go, because it's an adrenaline pumping situation. You are literally 30 to 45 minutes away from closing a client. And so it's a very nerve-wracking situation. And so asking them to talk about themselves gives you time to settle down. And while they sit there talking about their day and talking about how they took the dog for a walk and talking about how they went out to Cosmos last weekend, or they've got an holiday booked in 1 month, they can't wait to go, and you don't give a shit about none of that, but they love it. They love talking about themselves. And while they talk about themselves, you just sit back and give the adrenaline a chance to wear off. It's brilliant. And it also loosens them up. So after the small chit chat is done, ask them about their business. Now, it's very important. Go back to the previous slide. I clearly said, do not say, what does your company do? That's not what I mean by ask about their business. When I say ask about their business, you need to say, what got you into this industry? Because then they're going to talk about their mindset, which is very important. And once they start talking about their mindset, it's going to give you clear insights into, 1, why they got into the industry, which therefore will give you information on 2, the pain points associated with the industry, and 3, the solutions that this guy's trying to solve by entering the industry that he's in. And then you can use all that in the sales call. It's just ammunition that you can use later. And ask them about their goals. What's the big picture for you and your brand? Ask them about their goals, and you can use it as leverage, because
like I've mentioned before, benefits over features. You're not telling them, I can do your copywriting. You are telling them, I can help you make more money. If you say, oh, I can do your copywriting, that's shit. You need to be saying, I can help you make more money. When they tell you what their goals are, you're going to say, I can help you reach those goals once you find out what they are. Because it's going to paint that image in their head and it's going to put them in that state of motion. Can this person really help me get to where I want to be? And that is what the rest of the sales call is for, so that you can convince them that, yes, I in fact can get you to where you want to be. So why does it work? Makes them feel comfortable. It shifts the focus onto them because people love to talk about their business. It helps you relax in the meantime while they're chatting shit about stuff that you don't care about. And it gives you more information to use later because you're going to find out their motivations and priorities so that you can manipulate that into making them give you money. Copywriting. So, the second thing you need to do is qualify the prospect. Now, this is a controversial take. It's completely up to you guys what you do. Now, as an experienced copywriter, I do this first because I'm experienced and I can afford to lose a client. For all you beginners, maybe save this till the end, okay? Because it's better to risk wasting your time than to risk losing a client before you've even had chance to get to that stage. Now, before I start reading from the slide, the general consensus is that you never bring up price first, ever. Because as soon as you bring up price, it puts their wall up. From that point onwards, no matter what you say, that sales wall is up. You've kind of they know that this is a sales call. They're not stupid. But once you actually start verbally articulating the fact that this is a sales call and you want them to give you their money, they're automatically going to put their defenses up. And so you don't bring up price, you let them do it first. What I'm about to tell you here is something that I have just started doing myself because it just saves me from wasting my time. So not every lead is worth chasing. Some people just aren't a good fit to work with. This is why you ask open-ended questions to determine, do they actually need what you're selling? This is something that you can ask. This is a good way that you can qualify the prospect. Do they actually need a copywriter? If they've got a business that just is barely online at all and they get all of their sales from referrals and it's a very physical job, like, you know, if it's a plumber or something that's got a website that you've for some reason reached out to or whatever, you need to ask yourself, do they actually need what you're selling? Because if they don't, you're just wasting your time. So qualify them. Do they actually need what you're selling? Are they serious or are they just browsing, and do they have the budget for it? And this is the part that comes in where you have to make that informed decision as to whether or not you want to bring it up early in the call and risk putting their guard up, or risk wasting an hour sitting talking to someone that's potentially unqualified. In my case, that hour to me is much more expensive than potentially losing out on a client. Because in my opinion, qualify them as soon as possible so that you don't sit there wasting time. Because I've been on sales calls with people before. I've got a video about it where I talked about one of these scenarios. I sat there for an hour talking to a website dev about how I can help him in his business, you know, listening to his shit stories and looking at all his shit websites that he's built, and I just did not give a flying shit about anything he said. But I sat there and I listened to him, and, you know, I were all in sales mode and, you know, giving it everything you need to give. And then it got to the end of the call, he brought up the price and said, how much is it going to cost? And when I told him how much it was going to cost, he pulled his face and didn't want to pay it. And so I sat there for an hour and just wasted my time talking to someone that were expecting to get copywriting services for like 50 quid a month or something. A complete idiot. And so I just wasted my time on a sales call with him. So for me personally now, I'm at the stage where I can afford to lose a client. So I like to just qualify them straight away. Do they have the budget? And are they actually serious about hiring a copywriter? For you guys, if you're brand new, maybe just risk losing that hour, because let's be honest, how much is an hour worth to you guys? If you were worth as much in 1 hour as someone like me is, you wouldn't be watching this video figuring out how to make your hours worth more money. Okay? So you can probably afford to waste an hour talking to someone that's not qualified, because it's good practice. But once you've got a few clients, once you start actually getting into the swing of things, once you start getting more sales calls, more interest, more different clients, qualify them before you waste your time, because it's disheartening more than anything. So it's up to you. So asking questions like, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to email marketing? conversions, etc., etc. Ask them what their biggest challenges are. That's going to help you determine whether or not they actually need what you're selling. Ask them, have you ever worked with a copywriter before? If they say yes, it's going to give you an idea of whether or not they've got the budget for it because they've had a copywriter before. And it also gives you that leverage to basically say, wow, you've been wasting your money on a shit copywriter all this time. You've been working with a copywriter and you still got X, Y, and Z problems. Well, I can help you solve those problems. You speaking to a real copywriter. Finally, gives you more leverage there. And ask them, what's your main goal with this project? As in, what do you want to get out of the sales call? Are you just talking to me? Are you looking for a free call? Some free information? Are you serious? Are you actually serious about taking that next step to solve these problems and reach the goals that you have just told me about? And it works because it helps you control the conversation, guiding the discussion to wherever you want it to go. Helps you filter out bad leads because if they've got no money, they're not interested, move on. That's my personal take. And it lets you gather valuable ammunition. Like I said, they start saying that they've worked with a copywriter before and you can say, wow, you worked with a copywriter before, you've wasted your money and you've still got all these problems. Guess what? I am a real copywriter and I will solve those problems for you. More ammunition. And once you get to this stage of the call, present your solution, that you frame it as an investment, okay? So now that you know their pain points, you need to position your service as the ultimate fix. Don't just list your services. This is an investment, okay? And when you frame your services or your solution as an investment, it shifts the focus from cost to profit. They see it as a return, not an expense. It paints a clear financial picture. So now they're thinking about potential revenue rather than what they're going to be paying you. And it positions you as a results-driven expert. You know exactly how your service impacts their bottom line. So use this script. So I'm going to use an example now. One of my students has just closed a client. It's a big sunbed franchise, tanning franchise. You know, they do sunbeds and stuff. I don't really know much about sunbeds. They've got like body lotion and sunbeds, you know, shit to help you get tanned. And he's just closed a client that's into the sunbed business. And I basically said to him, this is what you need to say. He said this and it worked and he closed the client. All right. So to give you an idea of what it is that this client does, just to help you understand the scenario so that you can tailor it to your unique scenario once you get on a sales call. The main service that I told my student he had to push with emails and online content marketing was the monthly membership. And the reason he needed to push that is because it's easy, you can sell it online. You know, like most sunbed places, you walk into the shop and you say, can I have 12 minutes on the sunbed? And they say, yep, cool, that's £15. You pay £15. You lie in the sunbed for 15 minutes, you walk out, you're gone. That's it. Never heard from again. The monthly membership, you can sell it online, there and then. And it helps you paint a picture of how much money that you can make for the client once you're actually in that discussion. This is how you do it. So, insert package, monthly membership to the tanning salon for £150, right? With my methods, I'd only need to generate 10 sales for you to make 1,500 in your first month. So that paints the picture, right? You only need to generate 10 sales, cool. You've got 10,000 people on your email list. With my abilities and my proven copywriting formulas, I can guarantee you at least 10 sales in 1 month. And with 10,000 prospects that I'm reaching out to, I'm pretty confident it'll be more than 10. We're talking 56 there, but let's just talk worst case scenario. Let's just say I make you 10 sales in 1 month. That's £1,500. Me and you have agreed on £1,500 a month. You made your money back. Now, you might be thinking, it's not a good investment. I'm giving you money, making nothing on top of that money, and now I've got extra services that I need to provide. That's not a good investment. Hold your horses. By month 2, I will generate another 10 sales for you on your monthly membership. So now you've made £3,000. But Cav, I've just paid you another 1,500 in month 2. So I still haven't made anything. Yes, you have. Because not only do I release direct marketing, I also release loyalty campaigns to make sure that the subscribers that I convince to sign up to your membership stay signed up. So not only have I onboarded 20 new subscribers, but the 10 subscribers from the previous month have just renewed their subscription, buddy. So no, you haven't made 3 grand, you've actually made 4.5. And those numbers are going to snowball every single month. Every single month, those numbers are going to snowball until eventually, at the end of 12 months, we're looking at, and I've done the maths, £117,000, assuming the worst case scenario is I only close 10 sales and those 10 sales get retained every month. You're looking at 117 grand. Paying me 1,500 quid a month adds up to 15 grand, 18 grand in 1 year. So congratulations, you've made a grand total of £99,000 profit from me. Now can you see the investment? They're gonna be like, wow. Yeah, I actually can. That's brilliant. And that is how you frame it. You frame it as an investment. Frame it as an investment, you talk about the benefits, you talk about how much money they're going to make, and it shifts their focus from how much they're paying you to how much they're going to make in return. Comprende? Now, you're going to get some objections, and you need to be able to handle them without sounding defensive. Every single sales call you get, at some point, they're going to hesitate or push back. It is completely normal. You just need to know how to handle them. So some common objections can include, one, the main one, how do I know this will work if you've never done it before? I'm not sure if this will work for my business, or we already have someone handling this. Now, this is how you can handle it. Stay calm and stay positive. Objections are not rejections. They are just concerns that need addressing. That is it. It's completely normal. Reframing the value. The cost isn't what matters, the results are. You're not paying for words, you are paying for an increase in revenue. Like I said, you're paying for that 99 grand profit. If you're hesitant about how much money I charge, then let me ask you, you understand that the potential for revenue in the worst case scenario is 99 grand in the profits. So let me just be clear on this. You're telling me that you are refusing £99,000 so that you can save £1,500. Is that correct? You want to save £1,500? Reframe the value. Make them sound like idiots because it puts them in a state of emotion. You make them sound like an idiot. You make their decision sound idiotic. Then it's going to remove this predisposition that they have that this is an expensive service, because it's not. £1,500 a month, 18 grand a year in exchange for 118 grand. It's a no-brainer. And reinforce your qualifications. Now, you can say, and you can use me as an example if you want, probably will work better if you use someone that's been in the industry for like 20 years, like Ben Settle or David Garfinkel, but just lie. I've been personally mentored by Cav Legacy, Ben Settle, David Garfinkel, David Ogivale, whatever it's called. Make some shit up. Say you have been personally mentored with them, an established content marketer who's making X amount of money. Have a look at Ben Settle. I think he's the highest paid email marketer in the world right now. Just tell them you've been mentored by him. And he's proven toast that it works. You say that, reframes your qualifications. There's no way you can do it. Now, I just want to go back up to the main objection that I haven't addressed yet. And it's, how do you know this will work if you've never done it before? Now, reframe your qualifications. I've been mentored by the very best. That's how you can address that. I've been mentored by the very best, and I have something to prove. I have got something that I need to prove, right? This opportunity could potentially change my life. For you, it's going to increase revenue that's already coming in. It's just going to make you a little bit richer than you already are. But for me, this is going to change my life. And so I have to make sure this works if I want to change my life. Remember, this is not going to change your life, right? I understand that. You are already rich. I am here to just make you a little bit richer than you already are. But I'm also here to potentially change my entire life. And so I have to make sure this works. Not just for you, but for me. And so you better believe I will work harder than any marketing agency out there that shoves some junior copywriter on your table that got some shit university degree. and sits and works in his office for 30 hours a week while the CEO sits there smoking cigars and doesn't give a shit about what all his employees are doing. I am the man, and I have to make sure that this works for me. You get a marketing agency to do it, you're just another client, they don't give a shit about you. I care, and I am going to make sure this works, and I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure that I bring you the results that you deserve, because it's not only going to make you richer, but it could potentially change my life as well. I am brand new to this. I'm not going to bullshit you and say that I'm some established copywriter. You are my first guy, and I need to make sure that it works. If that doesn't work, commission backup plan. If they really hesitate, especially over the price, offer them a risk-free agreement. Say to them, right, you're not willing to invest, I've never done it before, completely understand. That is why I am about to offer you a low-risk solution. I will work for you completely for free, purely on commission, so that if you do not get results, I do not get paid. No results, no expenses. Completely risk-free to you. That is how confident I am that my marketing efforts will work. And then you offer them the percentage. Start with 30%, and they're going to negotiate you down. Do not take less than 15. Start with 30. Try and stick with 30 if you can, but do not take less than 15. If you start at 15, they'll negotiate you down to 5. Don't do that. Rookie mistake. Start at 30. If they want to negotiate you down, let them negotiate you down. Offer them the risk-free solution. They're going to be much more inclined. It removes the risks, so they've got nothing to lose. It's literally, they've only got everything to gain. Builds trust. You're confident enough on your results that you're going to bet on them. And it closes hesitant clients. So some people, again, they just need that final push. New, easy, big, safe. I'm new. This is going to be really easy because you don't have to do anything. It's also safe because you don't have to pay anything. New, easy, big, yeah. You get it? It's simple stuff. Now, let's go back to this one. Golden rule, like I said, do not bring up the price first. If they don't ask, stop talking, because silence creates pressure, which forces them to either ask for pricing, which means they're interested, or give you an objection, which you can handle. All right? So based on everything we've discussed, how do you feel about moving forward? If they're interested, send them your invoice immediately. But again, commission backup plan if they're really hesitant about that. Backup plan, commission. And just offer to do it all for free. That way. Offer to do it all for free. And it's that simple. There's nothing really else to go over for sales calls. That's how you do it. That's how you close a deal. That's how I've done it. I've followed the same formula for 20, 30, 40 plus sales calls. I've lost count. And I close pretty much all of them for the guys who are qualified. Everyone that's qualified gets closed because I follow this formula. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like as well. There's nothing else to learn. So if you want to run away really quick and send me that DM of the code that popped up, go ahead and do that now. Other than that, yeah, glad you enjoyed the video. If you watched the last one, this is actually the third part of a 3-part series, and there was supposed to be a live sales call at the end of this video. Unfortunately, the prospect that I reached out to using the outreach method that I taught you in the previous 2 videos didn't fucking show up to the call. Right, fuming, it happens. I wanted this to be an authentic, realistic demonstration of how the full outreach process works. I taught you an outreach method. I used that outreach method. I taught you a loom video. I sent that loom video and I got a call booked using everything that I taught you in the previous 2 videos. And I really, really wanted to record that call for this video to actually show you how to use these skills in practice. But unfortunately, the client didn't show up to the call, and I just kind of want to reinforce the fact that shit like this happens. It's just part of the job. Just part of the job. It's a shame, it's fucked up my series. I wanted a live sales call on this video. It's fucked up my series, but use it as a lesson. You're not going to get wins every single time. And this is why 99.9% of copywriters don't get anywhere with their career, because they fuck one thing up, or one thing fucks up, doesn't go their way, and they just quit. You know, I'll say this over and over and over again. There's 10,000 copywriters. Or I say copywriters. There's 10,000 people trying to become copywriters every week. And there's also 9,999 quitting the week after. So there isn't a lot of competition because everyone just quits. They get to this wall that they feel like they can't get over, or something happens that just puts them down. Like for me, the first ever sales call that I got on, fucked it up. Completely fucked it up. They're asking me about email softwares and automations. And at that stage, I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't even know how to send an email. I watched Tom Stoick's shit video about fucking writing direct response to a fitness niche. I didn't know anything about email softwares. And so this client was asking me about automations and segmenting and all this shit. And I didn't know what he was talking about, and I fucked the sales call up. And it defeated me. It absolutely defeated me. And I must have sat there with my head in my hands like this for an hour after the call. It was defeating. I almost quit. But for me, it was only defeating for about 12 hours, because once I got out of bed the next morning, I was back on it. But a lot of you guys, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to get hit with that defeat, and then you're just going to quit straight away. And so don't do it. Take this as a lesson. You know, I had a sales call booked. I wanted this to be the perfect fucking YouTube series, but guess what? Things don't always go your way, but you just have to crack on. I made this video anyway. That's why it's so late out as well, because I carried on trying to outreach to see if I could make up for it, and I didn't fucking get anything. So it happens. But you guys have got a lot more time to outreach than I do. I don't have time to outreach. I'm working, I've got my life, I don't need to outreach, I don't have the urgency. You guys have got the urgency. Put 10 hours a day into outreach, you will get a client. I put an hour a day into outreach, and I got a sales call booked in about a week and a half, doing an hour's outreach a day, using the method that I taught you. So in a week and a half, 10 days, 10 hours. You put 10 hours in one day, you should get a sales call booked. You put 10 hours in every day for a full week, come on, if you don't get a sales call booked, you're doing something wrong. That's just the fact. So watch my video, learn how to do it. But other than that, I'm not going to waffle anymore. Yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.